Welcome to the Good Life podcast with your hosts, George and Ben, two best friends here in Dubai, trying to figure out what it takes to live a good life.
We'll discuss fitness, mindset, work, and relationships, and all of the stuff in between. Conversations that really matter. Welcome to the Good Life.
Let's lock in.
Right, let's go.
Episode 1.
Episode 1.
Let's get straight to it. Why are we here? Why now for this podcast?
So it's something that just happened so naturally, right? Like we were in here, was it a week today? And we came in with loads of loaded questions we were going to ask each other, and we ended up just having a conversation. And I think something me and you've always spoke about is we just love to talk. We just talk about everything, and although our sort of backgrounds are health and fitness, we hardly ever talk about health and fitness. It's all the other important stuff that matter. And we sort of, how many times have we thrown business ideas around and opportunities around? And this just feels right. Like things have aligned, and which we'll go on to later, but things have just aligned, and it's given us both this opportunity. And something we've discussed a lot about recently is an idea not actioned is just an idea wasted. And
Absolutely. I'd zero intention to start a podcast at all, but when me and Ben come here last week, again, we planned some questions that we were going to ask each other for Instagram Reels. I don't think we asked one of the questions. We ended up just having a chat, and that's basically where it all started for us in 2013. Was it when we first started in the gym? So essentially, for a little bit of background on how we met, sounds like a love story, I know. But we was actually in the gym. I literally remember the time as well. And at the time, I did have a training partner previously, but he kind of dropped off a little bit. And I was looking for a new training partner, someone to be around who just has good energy. And I saw you obviously training hard, and I want to be around people like that. So I think I just asked you for a spot on a movement, dumbbell shoulder press. We spoke about this the other day, and we were both training chest, shoulders, triceps, classic bro split back in the day, and then went on to train together. And I think this podcast, hopefully what it will be, is almost like how this whole thing started for us. The whole gym thing started for us was just me and you going to the gym for an hour, training, but just having a chat about lifestyle, sports, health, fitness, anything, to be honest. We'll just try and avoid politics. That's
yeah, absolutely. We'll stick to what we know. But no, I think that's it. Like our origin story, as you will, is so like generic and so raw. And it almost doesn't sound real. Like you said, like it sounds like a bit of a love story. It does. Like we were just going to the gym at the same time, and anyone who goes to the gym will know you sort of have that phases of like a gym interaction. Like you'll go the same time as someone, and then it start off with like the classic nod of the head, and then a smile, then like a hello, mate. And then I just remember you lifting some big boy weights and was like, can I have a spot? And literally from there, if I remember rightly, I mean, I might be wrong, but I think we actually agreed to train. So you might have asked me in midweek to spot you. And then I think one of us asked each other to train like the following Saturday. And it just went from there. And we just haven't looked back. And I mean, how old
Same time, tomorrow, this time. Yeah, I was 15 at the time, and I maybe looked a little bit older. Now I'm still looking older, actually. And you must have been...
But I'm what, like, how old are you now? 27?
Yes.
And I'm 32, so I would have been what? So if you were 15, I'd have been 20.
Yeah.
And I think it's almost the opposite. You felt you look a bit older. I've always had quite a baby face. I mean, not
basically
sure if
the
that's
same
still
age.
there. Yeah,
basically
absolutely.
the same Whoop biometric age.
Do you know what I find really funny about that is there was no preconceptions about anything. Like, I didn't have a clue who you were. You didn't have a clue who I was. Didn't know each other's ages. Didn't know any interest. Well, the only interest we sort of knew was both enjoyed the gym because we were both in the same place, but we knew nothing about each other. And we just took each other for face value and being in that moment. And then, like, an outrageous, amazing friendships just come from it. And we're here, like, however many years down the line. I think that's so nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And even within the gym, we always complemented each other's strengths and weaknesses kind of thing. Like your strengths, I remember a lot. I got reminded of them every single day. Overhead press, incline dumbbell press, shoulder pressing, even your pull-ups were strong. They were my weak points. And maybe for me, maybe it was my back squat, maybe bench press. So we was always pushing each other on those things, almost like our strengths and weaknesses were the opposite in a good way, right? That's what you want in a training partner. And I think a very important thing to find a good training partner is not only someone who is going to push you in terms of the actual gym, but that you are going to go and enjoy that 1 hour with. So hopefully everyone watching this is going to enjoy this 1 hour. And to be honest, we even said like there's zero pressure with this podcast. We are just going to have a general chat. And if one person listens to it, if 10 people, 50 people, 100 people, I don't know, hopefully it will help and give value. And that's all we're looking for. And we're just enjoying this, right? We got a coffee before this. It's 8 p.m. in the evening. We don't care. None of this caffeine after 2 p.m. stuff. This is our first episode, right?
Absolutely. And I think that's it. Like we had a conversation in the car on the way here, and we've spoken about it a lot, George, haven't we? That our jobs are to serve people and to like provide education and support for people. That's our jobs. And this is just another avenue to go down, and something we love doing, and we feel like it's actually not getting the attention it deserves this day and age, is communication. And just two mates having a conversation about what is important to us and what we feel is important to so many other people, and hence the name The Good Life. We want to support people in living that good life, is just sharing our insights and our experiences and what we've learned and passing it on, because I can tell you now, like, whatever you're going through, whatever you've experienced, you're not alone. Like, other people would have done that. And like you said, if one person listens to this and they take something away from it and it makes their life 0.1% better, then it's a win, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I remember being 15 and starting the gym and, maybe training with yourself. But outside of that, I had my older brother who was also an inspiration at the early days. But it sometimes doesn't feel like you've got people around you who are maybe on the same mission. So, hopefully people watching have that mission of trying to live a good life with their health, with their business, their family, and maybe in their area they don't have that person to maybe look up to or that they feel like they relate to. Maybe their circle is pulling them away. So hopefully we can share the insights because we've gone through that and experienced that. So The Good Life.
Absolutely. And I think one of the most interesting things about the name of this is everyone will have a different opinion of what a good life looks like. And I think that's like further down the line, and when we have people on who we've already discussed, is to get their insights about what a good life is and see if there's some common themes throughout, no matter what your background is or what profession you hold. Like, are there some fundamental pillars that people have to lead in a good life?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think, like you say, having a role model, having someone to look up to, having someone to rebound off is so important. And this day and age, it's tough. Like, it's a really tough place to be with social media, and you're filled with negativity and expectations. And obviously, I can only speak about like being a young male and sort of what you see online. It's wild these days. It's not real life. No. And I actually feel sorry for the younger generation, like the super young generation, like the early 20-year-olds and stuff like that, and the mid-20s who are just driven with this. You have to work more. You have to have this by this age. You have to do this. And that's not real life, man. That's not real life. That what you see, and especially online, how much of it's even real, right? We won't even go into that. But I think it's so easy to get lost in what actually really matters. And for us, and we go on to talk about it in this episode, future episodes, but relationships, like a purpose, health. If you don't have them, like, really, is anything worth it? Yeah. You know?
What are you doing this for?
Absolutely.
I agree, for sure. So what is your definition then of a good life? Now we're on that topic.
Wow, there's so many things, isn't there? There's so many things. I think if there's three things that are important to me, it would be relationships, purpose, and health. So I'll go into them all in a little bit more. So talking about relationships, it's not about my partner. It is about my partner, but it's also about my friendships, my family, my clients. All these relationships, they all serve different purposes. And I think it is honestly one of the most, arguably maybe the most important thing, because I don't think anything matters without those relationships. Like, I have, and I'm sure so many people feel the same, but I am so blessed to have the people around me that I do, and they make my life so much better. And when we talk about a good life, like, my life wouldn't be as good if they weren't in it. I don't care how much money I had. I don't care about the experiences I would have had. It would mean nothing if I've got no one to share it with or to talk about it with, or if you've had a bad day, someone to talk to, or having opportunities like this is because it's two best friends.
Yeah.
And we've had this opportunity. Without this relationship, without being brave enough to communicate with each other early doors, we wouldn't be here. And I think that's just why relationships for me are so important. Having a purpose is so important as well. Why do you do what you do? Whether that is for individual reasons, whether that is to provide for a family, which you can definitely talk more on. Having a purpose, because we're always going to have bad days. Like, every day is not going to be great. But you know what? If you've got a purpose, that drives you through. What's the purpose of you getting to the gym? What's the purpose of you trying to make money? What's the purpose of you for communicating with someone? What's the purpose of just having a nice conversation with someone? Like, for me, like, I like to put good in the world. I always say please and thank you, and something I'll always, that one of the things that grinds my gears if someone's not polite. I think like that is just like a non-negotiable. And for me, just have a purpose to put good in the world and hopefully get some back. But you know what? If I don't, it's fine because I'm putting it out there. I go to the gym to be healthy. I want my family to like look up to me and be sort of a role model. Although I haven't got my own children, but niece and nephews, even for like my mum and my nan and like my uncle, I want them to look at me and think, oh, he's so healthy, he really looks after himself, and hopefully they take
a
something
helpful
away.
Transition to fertility, trust me. There's a reason we got twins.
There we go. There we go. I'll catch up with that moment, maybe.
Yeah. Mate, you might have triplets.
Don't say that, yeah. That worries me.
0 to 3. Could you imagine
right
that?
away.
Did you see, just a random story, a bit off topic, James Maddison had one child, like similar to what we had with Roman, and then went for a second, got twins, and then went for a fourth, got twins.
That is
so he's gone
wild.
1, 3, 5. I mean, it's a bit different for me versus James Maddison because I imagine he's not got a bad backing of finances for that family of 5. But anyway,
I remember I said, again, going off topic, I remember when you told me, you told me, and it was like, I remember thinking how crazy that is because I almost think going from 1 to 3 is more than 0 to 2. Like, because yes, you've got that experience, but 3's a lot.
Yeah.
And they're obviously in close age.
I'm telling
sure
you,
go into.
I'm not going for one more. I'm leaving the rest to the viewers, the listeners,
there we
to
go.
you, because
don't put that pressure on
3
me,
to
man.
5 would be a madness.
Crazy.
But no, things will come with time. But yeah, anything else to add to that?
And my last point was health. And obviously health is, without health, it's nothing. Whether that's mental health, physical health, combination of both, you're really going to not live up to your potential if you're not in a good place of health. And I'm not on about smashing the gym. That's important. But just moving your body, just eating fairly well, staying hydrated, trying to get enough sleep. But all of that will elevate your life so much. And I'm so passionate about it. I feel like I almost get myself like riled up and excited talking about it because I can't express how important it is and how much your life will become elevated just looking after yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually spoke to someone, and I'll keep it confidential, but essentially he was someone in Dubai who on the surface looks like he has absolutely everything. I shared this story on social media recently. He has a villa, he has a family, a wife who he's been with for years, children, his career, he's smashing it. He's so passionate about his career. He loves what he does every single day. But he said, he loves in terms of he's always done it in his life, but he said that he struggles to actually enjoy his life because his health is getting in the way of it. He said, I wake up every day, I look down, I see my belly, I notice I'm lower on energy, I struggle playing with my kids. And it just goes to show that, like, on paper for me, this guy is a big inspiration, to be honest, for me. But then without health, like, what is that, right? So that is, I believe, why health needs to be at the foundation. I almost feel like it's a set of glasses that you put on when you're healthy and just the world changes. It's like, if you were unhealthy, and there's been times where I've been unhealthy when I had appendicitis, it was something that was out of my control, but it feels like you've got them glasses off and everything is dull and black and white and grey, and then you get healthy and it's like things just happen. I have clients as well who, you know, get in shape, and I'm sure you've had the same, and they feel like that they get luckier when they're healthy, and it's not. It's an energy, it's habits, it's the way they're showing up as well. So I feel like health in good life is really the foundation to then do those other things.
100%. Just jumping in there, I think one of the things you said about putting the glasses on and off, I literally love that. I always describe it as like, you know, the Jenga tower that you used to play Jenga with and the blocks and you got to pull them out. I feel like health is the bottom bricks. And as soon as you remove your health, everything just crumbles. And it's sort of similar. But yeah, again, something that some of my clients say all the time is when they sort of come off the plan, they realise how different they feel. And the amount of times they say, I can't wait to get back to it. They go on holiday, they'll have a great time. But and you probably get it all the time, they will say, I can't wait to get back to it. They've had a great time and enjoyed that for what it is, but they will always say, I can't wait to get back to eating well. I can't wait to get back to my routine. But again, it's something you just don't know until you've fully experienced it.
Yeah. And that's why I feel like me and you have a lot of passion to do stuff like this as well. It's to show people what they're missing out on. It's not even about, you know, shaming people who don't prioritize their health. It's just trying to make them realize that what the good life is in a way, right? So I feel like for me, the good life is those pillars that you spoke about. I think the core belief of the good life is living life using, I know it sounds maybe cliche, but in the way that you actually want to live and not just giving in to what other people want to do. And I feel like that's so much easier said than done as well when you're in that situation. Like I remember there's some big situations for me in the past where, you know, I wanted to become a personal trainer and people around you are saying, how long is that going to last? What are you going to do when you're in your 40s and 50s? And that game has definitely changed now. People are, you know, if anything, you know, longevity coaches are doing pretty well. do you really want to do that? Are you going to get a good salary out of that? But at that time, I was like, I literally don't care. If I get enough money to just like pay for my food and my bills and to get by, and I get to help people doing this, that is honestly fine. I know I could earn more money and do better, like chasing this elsewhere, but I'm going to stick with it and be persistent. And obviously now I'm glad that I did. And I've enjoyed every step of that journey up until now, even when I was on the gym floor, cleaning the machines, picking up dirty towels, washing them. I was still having a laugh. I love being on the gym environment, walking around, helping someone with their deadlift or their form and technique and whatnot as well. So I feel like living life on your terms of whatever you want to do. Again, there's this whole like roadmap of things that you've got to do by a certain point. And this kind of comes down to the podcast as well. Like I spoke to one of my friends and just wanted to get second opinions on, do you think it's a good idea for me to start a podcast? And someone said to me that they were playing devil's advocate, and they mean well, but you've got a lot going on in your life. You've just had twins, they're now 4 months. You've got a toddler, you've got a business, you've got so much going on. Like, you want to make sure that if you can do this, you can actually do this, which I understand, but I want to do it. So, and he's obviously saying that from a nice spot, but I just want to do the podcast. So I feel like if you want to do something, just do it, because the alternative is you live on someone else's terms. And if it doesn't go well, you're going to like live with that guilt. Whereas if you try and it's generally your decision and it doesn't go well, for me, I don't care. There's been lots of failures where that's happened and I just don't care, because that is what I wanted to do. And most of the time, if you really want to do it, you won't lose, or because you'll go all in on it as well. Absolutely.
And I think especially something like this, George, like this is something we're passionate about. And it's something where we know, we had a conversation again coming in the car about, you know what, like even if like 10 people listen to it and one person takes something away, we've done a good job. Yeah. Like, you know, someone's taken something away from it. Like, this is new to us, and like I say, our mission is just to help people. And I think the underlying message there for you is, if you want to do something, just try it, just start. I had a big sort of, say, movement, but I was really pushy this year to saying to like my clients and people who I interact with about just starting. And you know what? Like, if it doesn't work out, at least you've tried. Like, and I feel, and it's again so many cliche sayings regarding that. But if you don't try, you're never going to know. But if you try and it doesn't work out, you can be like, I gave that a real good go.
Yeah.
You know, and I think as well, like, this is something you want to do, and it goes back to what we said earlier. Like, an idea not actioned on is an idea wasted.
100%. And a quick story on that. I'm not going to name him. I know he's going to be watching this podcast right now, so I just want to share his story. He was a personal trainer, and he kind of let his standards slip a little bit and wasn't in the shape. He kind of lost confidence in himself from losing that body shape. So he stepped away from personal training and said, listen, I don't want to be a personal trainer preaching stuff that I'm not following. Fair enough. I want to go and do a job that's going to pay me a salary, allow me to provide for my family. And then he reached out and said, George, I want to go through a transformation. I want to become a PT again, but this starts with me, my health, leading by example. And he has come in, mate, in 16 weeks, like, losing pretty much a kilo every week on average, like absolutely smashed it. He's got his six pack back. He's got his obliques popping. Like, he just looks completely different. And yesterday he texted me saying, I've quit my job. I'm backing myself. I'm going back into PT. I'm getting back on the gym floor. No salary. Like, he's literally just going in and just winging it, right? He's got X amount of savings aside to hopefully get him through. And again, that is living the good life. That is taking that risk for, like, that is the life that I want. And it could have been so easy, you know, all the risk, and imagine what people are saying to him, like, you've got a child, you've got a family, you can't take that risk, you haven't got stability. But he's like, fuck it. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. It's my decision. And it won't go wrong because he's locked in.
100%. And I fully agree with that. Like, you have to live your life. And again, the good life, we're going to share what we feel a good life is, right? But as I said earlier on, like, a good life for someone listening might be different to what we see. It'd be interesting to share like perspectives on certain stuff and see it, as I said, is there any underlying pillars that everyone sort of agrees with? But you have to live your life. Whatever that is, like, you have to do what you enjoy. Whether that is you want to, I don't know, play PlayStation for a little bit. Whether that is...
We love that, don't we?
We still love that. Yeah, we still love it. I mean, we're a bit out of the game now, wouldn't we? But with the amount of hours we've spent on it, and how much fun did we have?
I'd be so bad on COD.
Yeah, I'd be so... I'm old now.
Back in the day, we were.
Absolutely.
Playing Claw.
And I think the thing is like, how much fun did we have, though? But I mean, it doesn't mean that we neglected everything else. We still worked. We still went to the gym. We still ate pretty well. But we enjoyed that. And again, people might look at that and think, bit geeky, that's not the cool thing to do. But that's what we enjoyed. And for that time in our life, we loved it, right? And I think going back to that gentleman that you just discussed, he was under a lot of pressure, obviously, he obviously fell out of shape, and then obviously dented his confidence, and he was obviously doing a job that he maybe didn't love. Hence why he's done this amazing transformation and ended up doing something he loves again. It's so important. And you said, like, people were criticising you, or maybe not criticising you, but making you aware, like, is there longevity in this career? Is this really something that you can be successful at? And again, when I went to online, I gave up a very stable career where I could have gone pretty far in it in terms of like leadership, and I would have had some very, very good opportunities. It'd have been safe. The pension would have been amazing. I'd have had lots of time off.
You just backed yourself for the
and
good
I'd
life.
back myself, and yeah, absolutely, because I knew that's not what I wanted to do, and I took a risk. I've taken pay cuts in my career. I've taken loads of risks in my life, and I'm here now because of that.
Yeah.
And I can't express to you, like, and obviously people go through difficult times and it's all not smooth sailing. Absolutely not. But I think my message is we're going to be so strong on you. You have to do what you believe in, and
Absolutely.
not give in to these, we call them standards because they're not the real standards, but stuff that's shoved down your throat every day online or what you hear about.
I think there's a big issue on social media, and maybe it's the way that the algorithm works, is it's pushing a lot of negativity into people's feeds and scarcity, and just making the world seem like it's doom and gloom. And I've even heard friends say to me, we've spoke about children, and they've said, personally, I wouldn't want to bring children into this evil world, this dark world. And I mean, my first opinion is, if you want to make the world a better place, why not bring your children in and then bring up the right people? Because then that's going to tally more of the good versus the bad, right? Like that makes logical sense in my mind if there is that. But also, I think we've never lived in a better time in human history. Maybe if you go back 10, 20 years ago, I don't know, the 90s, potentially. But right now, I mean, I can open up a laptop and literally have a full-time career where I work from home, and on my break, I can go downstairs and see my children there. I can go to a luxury gym, which has like the best equipment, super clean, everything that I need. We don't need to hunt for our dinner. We can go up to Tesco's and Spinneys and get a nice steak and come home and cook that and be around the table with our family, not worrying about bombs flying over our head or whatever. And honestly, I know that sounds a bit extreme, but when I grew up, I was lucky that I had my great-grandparents around a lot. And I loved having conversations with them because it does put things into perspective. Like, one of my great-nans who lived near us, I spent a lot of time with her. She had a shelter in her garden from World War II. And she kept it in her garden like throughout, just to remember those times. She basically moved into her parents' house. And, you know, the street next to her got blown up in the war. You know, after dinner, sometimes they would go down in the shelter just in case something was going to come over throughout the war. And it's like, we just take like general health and safety for granted as well. So I think, again, with this whole social media thing, it makes us out to believe that everything is negative and there's no future. I'm bullish on the world. Like, I think the world is getting better, and I think we need more people speaking about that, which is why I think, again, this podcast is a good idea.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things I highlighted earlier about, I want to put in good stuff and get good stuff back. Like, and what you do absorb, you will display as well. So if you're constantly accept that negativity, like, that's all you're going to feel. And that's what you are going to put onto other people.
Yeah.
And perception is everything, right? Like, literally, perception is absolutely everything. And we do get to decide what sort of perception we take. And especially with social media and stuff, and sometimes it is tough. And especially, like you say, the algorithm, it's nuts how it works. Like, if you watch one bad video, probably your whole feed for the rest of that day is going to be bad videos. But I absolutely think, like, you do have to be positive. And it's something I'm working on as well. It's not one of my strengths naturally. My partner, she's huge on, like, journaling and positivity, and sometimes she snapped me out of it, but I'm getting so much better on it. Is one of my goals to actually become more positive, and the difference it makes, even waking up, and I say it all the time now, I wake up and I'm like, gonna have a good day today, like, it's gonna be a good day, we're gonna have a productive day, it's gonna be a great day, and right away it makes a difference. It really makes a difference, and you do get to choose to a certain extent. Yes, some things are out of your control, and yes, sometimes things are going to get a bit tough, but the majority of the time we can choose how we perceive our day to day.
Absolutely. That's one thing that I used to struggle with as well a lot, and I'm still trying to work on. I feel like since having kids, like for me previously, I used to be such a perfectionist about like how my day was and planning this and time blocking this. And if things went wrong and swayed me, like it would impact me so much, and like almost I'd write off the day, start again tomorrow. And that's been such an amazing benefit. I mean, there's lots of benefits of having children, but when you do have children, there is like no option but to just get on with it regardless. And again, with the podcast, I was thinking, if I'm going to do a podcast, I need to do it like this, and I need to say this. And it's like, no, we're going to do a podcast. You said to me, George, why don't we call it The Good Life? And I was like, do you know what? Yep, let's do that. That's an amazing idea. And here we are now. I feel like, just responding quick and realizing life isn't perfect, I think is important.
It's never going to be perfect, is it? Like, it's literally never going to be perfect. Something I'm so big on is we can control what we can control. And the things we can't control, we don't really worry about. Because if you spend your time worrying about what might happen or things that's out of our control, like, you're going to live a very unhappy life.
But instead of what could go wrong, what could go right as well, right?
Again, what does that come back to? Perception, right? Instead of looking at the negatives, I can look at the negative in every situation, but you might look at the positive in every situation. Like, and our mindsets will be very, very different.
Yeah.
And I think, again, we can control how we treat other people, you know? We can control how we show up. What we can't control is how our colleagues might show up, or how our partner might show up on occasions, or people around us might show up. But that doesn't mean we need to change. I mean, you had that story the other day, right? That you were telling me about the guy you met in the toilet, and his energy was amazing. It sort of gave you a bit of a reality check. And I think it's one of the most important things. Like, just do you and do the things that you want in life. You know, like be you, be positive. And again, it's not all flowers and rainbows and sunshine.
We tell the listeners that story for the first pod.
It's great. You're going to name drop as well.
Got a name drop this one. Big name drop for the first pod. So, in Dubai, I've definitely been guilty. So I've been here for 4.5 years, and it was actually 5.5 years ago we first come on holiday. So I don't want to bore you with the story too much, but essentially in COVID, me and Beth come out for a week's holiday, and then we basically got stuck out here, which wasn't a bad place to get stuck. We then extended it 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and Beth got invited to look at this dance place, and then eventually got a job opportunity. And we had like then a year to then sort out moving to Dubai, and then being here 4.5 years. And I feel like one thing that there's pros and cons of Dubai, but people are just straightforward, head on. It's very like rushed, driven, almost like productivity focused, that sometimes people forget everyone around them. And I definitely found that I was getting into that trap. You know, in England, again, there's positives and negatives. One of the positives of being in England, I feel like, is mannerisms and people holding the door, and, you know, even in the car, like flashing to let people go and stuff. So in Dubai, you kind of get into this mindset of like, do you know what? Everyone else is just doing what they need to for themselves. I'm just going to do that. And I absolutely hate that. I don't like it. And I found myself getting caught up in it. So I go to the toilet, Mall of Emirates, and I'm just there doing up my buttons. And I feel someone so politely say to me, "Oh, excuse me, sir, I'm just going to get through and go to the toilet." So polite. And I could feel like the energy, basically. And I'm like, no worries, looking down, sort of just focusing on what I need to. Go to wash my hands, and then he comes up in the sink next to me washing my hands, and I look up, and it's Terry Crews looking at me. Big Terry Crews. What a nice, humble, polite guy. And I almost felt a bit guilty that I didn't have my head up, and usually I'm that happy, smiley, how are you? And that day he caught me out. And that was a moment that I took from that, is maybe because other people are acting a certain way, you don't need to do that. Like, you need to be the light in the world as well. So that was a humbling moment. And shout out Terry Crews.
Yeah, absolutely.
Real good guy, like, absolute.
And I think that's the thing. I think you said something earlier, like, people say you get lucky if you're feeling a bit healthier or better. And I don't think it is. I think you just attract better things. You attract, if you want to call it luck, but you attract that, you know? And I think one of the things that you messaged me, like, instantly since it happened. Like, as soon as it happened, you messaged me. And I remember you saying, like, I need to, like, snap myself out of it and make sure that I carry that good energy. And, like, I think me and you we're so polite. I really do believe that. Like, I've been called almost patronising, where I am so polite to, like, waiters and waitresses and stuff like that. And I think those are your roots. And again, it goes back to making sure that you do follow your roots, right? And it is easy to get sucked into stuff. It is easy to get sucked into social media and stuff like that. We're not sat here saying, listen to this podcast and everything's going to be easy, you know? To change is easy. It's not. I still watch videos now. Sometimes I think, oh, I'm behind, or I should be doing that, or I should be earning that, or I should be driving that car, or I don't know, whatever. I should be here in my career. And sometimes you do just need to step back and just give yourself that bit of reflection time. And it doesn't have to be journaling, it doesn't have to be that deep. But just for you, like taking that step back, okay, what have I learned from that situation, and then implementing that.
And I think this is kind of the misconception of what it takes to live a good life. Like, the thing that has impressed me the most about Terry Crews, who I imagine has done so much with his career, I mean, you could probably list and just go through it. But the thing that I've remembered is the way that he treated someone and the mannerisms. And I think that's so important. And also, male role models, young men, their role models are people who are preaching money, status, and basically usually shame in their life. You're in this bad situation. You need to buy my course. That's going to get you this status, these girls, this money, this fame. And it's just an empty, soulless game that you're chasing. I don't think you're truly ever going to be fulfilled. Like, you don't have to wait until a certain checkpoint to be happy. Of course, again, we're not saying you're going to wake up and be happy every single day. You're going to have good, average, bad days. But I think waiting until these certain things to like enjoy your life and that be amazing. I've just, being in Dubai here this time, I've met too many people to realize that it's just not everything.
Absolutely.
And you meet some people with a lot less who are happier. And how is that? You know?
Yeah, and you see that all the time. You see people who on the outside look like they've got nothing, but they are so happy. And why is that? Like, why is that? And I think as well, we're not saying like you shouldn't push in your career. Absolutely push in your career. But like, is it the be all and end all? Yes, you need to make a certain amount of money, of course. And yes, it's nice to go and enjoy nice dinners here and there. But again, I'll always go back to the point, if you're not healthy, probably not going to enjoy that much, really. If you haven't got people to share that, like truly share it with. And I think there'll be a few people in the majority of people's life who they picture when we're talking about these relationships, because it's not the people. I always describe it as like a few circles. You've got like your inner circle, then your outer circle, and then people just on the outside of the circle. Those real relationships on your inner circle, if you can share those things with them, amazing. But if you can't, it is, I think the word you used there was soulless, and it's such a good way to describe it. Like, it's empty, it doesn't matter. And like the stuff you see online, like people preaching about stuff, and people are predators out there. Like, that they are horrendous. Like, so, and they will pick on people who don't maybe feel like they're in the best place of their life, and they will preach about how they can get you there. And probably them people preaching that probably aren't in the best place either. If they're willing to sort of preach to those people who maybe are a little bit vulnerable, they're probably not the best people to follow.
That's their demographic, right? Yeah, that's what they're going for.
I've seen some horrendous things in the coaching world, George. I've seen people like calling for people about like mental health. So I'll give you a quick story. I won't name drop or anything, but no pressure. If he watches it, he'll actually know. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so he actually screenshotted me a poll on Instagram, and it was a vote. It was like, it was something along the lines of like, are you suffering with your mental health? Yes or no? He screenshotted it, sent it to me and be like, oh, look at these coaches will do anything, etc. He accidentally clicked yes as he was like scrolling through it. And he got a message from this coach saying, my program will fix your like mental health, and you need to come to me for this price. You'll get this, and this, and I'll fix you. And I think, so they're literally identifying people who might genuinely be struggling, and they are using that vulnerability to try and make money. And I think
the fact that he's gone in with like coaching straight away, why is he not just trying to help? And that is one of the biggest issues. So many coaches ask me maybe, what do I need to do to earn this or do this? And you literally just need to be passionate about helping people and expect nothing in return. That's actually a lesson that my mum taught me very well, is that just help people and expect nothing back. And if you do that long enough, like, you're eventually, as a byproduct, going to maybe have the life that you need to financially as well.
100%. I think, again, go back to what we said earlier, like, our job is actually to serve people. Like, the fact that people pay us for it is bloody amazing. But I help people. How many times do people message you in the day and like you'll answer their questions? Like, all the time.
Yeah.
I was literally
There's nothing better. Remember the first person who ever asked you fitness advice, how good that actually felt. And I want to always hold on to that kind of moment.
And I also think, like, when you give that advice and they look at it and they're like, this is amazing, thank you. And like, you don't even drop anything in. I literally have been sending voice notes to someone in Australia at the moment, and it's about him and how he wants to get his first pull-up. And he messaged me again today saying, oh, his boss is actually running a half marathon. He saw my recent half marathon and he wanted a bit of inspiration. And I was just pinging over loads of suggestions, stuff like that, and they were so appreciative of it. And again, like, that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. And again, and that's one of the reasons why we're here as well, and why we're passionate about this project that we're on is because me and you, we genuinely do share so many of the same morals, and it's so rare these days to find people who don't just care about ego, don't care about money like that. I couldn't care how much money you earn or how little you earn or where you lived in the world. We've been apart for years and we still talk. We might talk loads, we might not talk a bit, but every time we've been together, like, our relationship has probably just got stronger over time, right? And it never changes. And I think it's so rare to find people these days. And again, one of our pillars will be relationships, because if you can form these relationships, you never know where it takes you in life. Like, look at us now.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Absolutely. And going back to that point earlier, I would recommend, if someone listening is a coach or they're in some kind of industry where they can serve and maybe they charge for their services, I do really think, and it's kind of a lesson that I've learned and I want to continue doing, is to do something for free as well. Like, for example, with me, when was it? Last year, and I got a surgery done. I basically couldn't train for 4 months. And I was like, with that time of me not training, I've got time back. Like, what can I do with that time? So I basically decided to lead a community session in the neighborhood, and a few people said that they would come along and train. I saw them training. I said, I'll help you out and do this. And then we started gathering numbers, and people were watching what we were doing in the neighborhood, and we were posting it in the group. And we've built up now, we've got over 250 people in the group. We've just been running it a year. And now it's even got to the point where I do 1 session a week. One of the other people who has been coming to the sessions has got way more advanced with his fitness. He's now running it on a Tuesday. One of the ladies who's now wants to improve on her running is doing a little run club on the Thursday. And all of a sudden, you know, I'll go out throughout the week and I'm driving around or even walking around my neighborhood and I'm seeing people training, running, you know, getting better at all these movements. And it literally just started from that one moment as well. And I enjoy it. And it brings me back to those days of, like, when I spoke about when we were first on the gym floor, we got someone reach out and ask for advice. So we'd be stood on the gym chatting people's ears off for hours on this stuff. And I think it's important that you never lose that and you keep grounded to that as well, because sometimes it is easy, especially here in Dubai in the coaching industry. Everyone's talking about how to grow and how to get these numbers and finances, and not many people are speaking about just giving value for nothing in return. I think that's important.
100%. I mean, what you've demonstrated, and I know you've shared your journey with me so many times, like, but what you've demonstrated is that it works, and that community works, relationships work, like, people love it.
Yeah, and I love it as well, to be honest. Like, that's one of the reasons why I do it, because I turn up and I just enjoy being around people who are maybe not super into their fitness, and they're just like regular parents like myself, you know. And sometimes people think coaches are like superhuman. Like, we are human as well. Like, I struggle with the sleep and the nights and the feedings and all the stuff that the parents do. And it's nice to be around people who are like that as well. So yeah, I would definitely recommend.
I think something you said there as well, which is really important, is actually just being around similar people and people that have no egos, and it's not talking about work, it's not talking about money. And I mean, I've been to Dubai a few times, but obviously I've recently moved.
Tell us a little bit about your move, by the way. How did that come about?
So I'm sort of fortunate, sort of similar story to you. Obviously, your partner ended up getting a job over here. My partner got a job over here. And obviously, us both being in the same field, it meant we're fortunate enough to join. So we've got our partners.
Are we completely reliant on our partners?
Yeah, it literally is. We're here because of them. I really hope they don't watch this. Otherwise, we're getting blackmailed for a long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, and like I say, I only visited a few years ago now, wasn't it? I've been a few times, obviously, to visit you, essentially. Really, yeah, we'll pretend. And then the opportunity came up, and I've always loved it. Like, since coming over here, I've loved it, and for so many different reasons, like the weather, like how clean it is, how safe it is, and it is about being around like good people. And obviously, I talk about that circle. I've got like my family in there, and I've got a few friends in there, and then you're one of those people, and the amount of times that we spoke about doing things together and stuff like that, and being around the people that are important to you, I do think is important. And like I say, this opportunity just came up, and I was never going to turn it down. And like I say, it's we've only been here 6 weeks now, something like that. And yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. Like
it's such a positive atmosphere and energy here in it. Like, I love going home, and there's pros and cons about Dubai and the UK. I'm definitely not on that train of like hate the UK 100%. And love Dubai. Like, I absolutely love the UK. And for me, I never left the UK to escape like this hellhole and all this drama that people have around it. I don't think it's that bad. I love seeing my family. But when I fly back to Dubai, there's just this energy of lock-in season is happening, and it's gym, family, work, service. it just has a different feel to it.
Absolutely. And I think for me as well, again, I go back to like having a purpose. It's one of the things that's really important to me. And I think coming here, like it gives so many different opportunities. And I think having that purpose isn't necessarily for me. This purpose is actually like my family going to come over here in November. I can categorically say. So it's going to be my mum, her partner, and my nan. I can categorically say they would never, ever come to Dubai if it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be here. So the fact that I'm in an opportunity to give them that experience, that makes me so happy. Like I can't express like how excited I am for that.
Yeah.
And stuff like that for me is the important stuff. And that's like, it's not all the money that people may perceive here and all the amazing people that you can meet here and opportunity. Yes, that's a part of it. But for me, like one of the most things that I'm most excited for is bringing my family over and showing them. And I know like you've brought your nan and granddad over and they said it's like the best place ever, right?
Yeah.
And I think being in that opportunity, being in that position to give people you care about the opportunity is such a powerful place to be. I mean, one of the most exciting things for me is going back to sort of my journey over here is, obviously, you know I haven't got children, but I've got a dog, which is essentially like
basically
a child. Yeah, it feels like a child, just as expensive. And he's coming over so finally got the date through March the 4th. And I literally cannot wait to get him over. I'm so excited. And anyone who knows me will know sort of that relationship I've got with my dog. So that's going to be like an interesting dynamic as well, getting the dog over here and dealing with them problems. But yeah, I literally can't wait for it.
Mate, I've seen, obviously in Dubai Hills, like the area they got for them and stuff. It's amazing seeing that. So
the dog park, getting them around that agility course is definitely going to be a target of mine.
And the good thing for me out of this is you having a dog is now going to avoid the questions of me getting a dog. I don't want the dog. Like I had a dog, my hairline is going, it goes so far back, I don't know what will happen. So we'll keep you with the dog for the moment. And
you
we'll
the kids, me with the dog at the moment.
Yeah, and we'll do a little switch every so often.
But yeah, I think for me, mate, I absolutely love it here. And I think the first time, again, I sort of fell into the perception, you would ask me to come over and visit, and I put it off a little bit because social media portrays it to be this place which, again, is all about money, all about drinking, all about this super flashy life. And I knew that was like the opposite of you. And I thought, if you love it that much, there must be more to it. And where me and you are so similar, I thought, I'll give it a go. I came over, and honestly, it was like so eye-opening, amazing. And it was something potentially in the long term that I would have thought about actually just doing on my own anyway. But again, it's weird how things happen, right? And how life happens and how meeting people, whether that's romantically or just professionally or just as friends, you know, like where them opportunities can bring you. And people don't understand that like these relationships that you build, they might not mean anything in the moment, but later down the line they mean everything. If you didn't ask them, if it's, again, being super deep, if you didn't ask me for a spot that day, we might not even know each other now.
Yeah, wouldn't even be a coach.
No, but do you know what I mean? Like how correct, like the ripple effect is so real, and all it comes from is you interacting with that one person one day, you taking that chance on that one thing, and it might not lead to nothing. But I think like this is actual like, evidence right here that it can lead to the most wild things.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely. No, you got to just take your chances. And for me, I try to, when I come across people, say hello. I had a situation actually where from Portsmouth, Ant Middleton, I saw him in the mall, and there was a moment where I could have said hello, but I thought I don't want to kind of like ruin his day or anything, so I didn't do it. And I thought, do you know what? I should have just said hello. Like there's common ground there as well. And I think a few days later, bumped into Iniesta. I'm name dropping all sorts here, but I was like, I'm gonna have to go and say hello and say something because you never know like where it could meet, and these people are just regular normal people. And I think as well, going back to the point you made earlier about Dubai being this superficial, what you see on Instagram, Lambo, status, flashy cars, all this, it's wherever you kind of go in the world, if you're going to the big cities, you can live kind of whatever life you want. Like you can go to Dubai and live that life and spend a load of money and be into the wrong things. For some people it's the right things, but for me it's not what I want. Or you can go and you can just live kind of on the outside, and you can pop in every now and then. You got a good gym locally, you got a nice park where you can take the kids and the family, and there's also a great alternative to that. So I feel like no matter where you are in the world, like you can make what you have of the situation. Like a lot of people talk about Portsmouth, where we're from, of being such this kind of like negative environment to be in, but I know it's maybe harder sometimes, especially I think it's rained every day of 2026, but there are nice gyms, nice locations. You can, you're close with your family. That's something that you're never going to get in Dubai. So you can go and see your family and just do basic things. You can go around for a tea and have a chat with like your parents or your grandparents, I think, which is amazing. So for like trying to make the best of your environment is important, because I've had it a few times where it's easy for you to say, George, you're in Dubai. It's pissing down with rain here. Like, do you expect me to do this? But I've been there and you've been there. Like, we still enjoy going to the gym and getting a can of White Monster and training.
Absolutely.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, perception. But like, perception's everything, right? You can either moan about it or you can just control what you can control. And I know I repeat that all the time, but I believe in it so much. And mate, I always used to say, like, anyone who I'd communicate with, when I spoke about like moving or living somewhere, I'd say in the UK, I genuinely don't think I'd live anywhere other than Portsmouth. No. And like, I feel like blessed that we live there, like by the seaside and
countryside, the other side.
Yeah, we're close enough to London for airports or just to have that bigger city feeling, you know. And I think again, it's a beautiful place, and yes, like you don't have to live the life that you think you're meant to live. Like you can do whatever you want. Like I won't get too deep, but I left school with one GCSE, and I had to do things a long way round, and I ended up being the first person in my family to go to university and graduate with a really good degree. And then I've been in pretty good positions with work. And again, I was the first person to sort of take that leap, but it wasn't, I could have just stayed on that path, like didn't do that well at school. You know what, like I'm just going to have like a dead end job, something I don't really care about because of this. But no, you can change. You can change. And like I say, it's easy to sit there and say, I'm just going to settle, or you can make a change, you know? And again, perception's everything, mate. And it's not as easy as that. It's not as black and white as that, but it is something that I truly do believe everyone can achieve.
Definitely. Love it. Absolutely love it. So let's try and wrap this up then. So what kind of guests do you think eventually we want to get on the Good Life podcast?
It's something we spoke about, isn't it? And we've already got some ideas and we put the feelers out there already. And I think it's something that it applies to everybody. Like if you ask anybody in life, like, what do you deem to be a good life? They would have an answer. I think the exciting thing about this podcast is we're going to hear from so many people from different backgrounds. And I think I'm excited to see, are there, again, them trends where there are some similar agreements, and then sort of talking about the things that maybe we do disagree on. And I'm excited to hear from people who maybe have gone through times in their life where it was a little bit more difficult, and they have come out the other side and they've got like a completely different opinion of what a good life is.
From that moment.
Absolutely.
That's very important to speak about as well. Like, it's not just a happy life all the time, right? Like, to build that good life comes a lot of suffering and a lot of setbacks as well.
And again, like, I've been in places, and you've been in places, where everyone's probably been in places where it's almost like a bit of a switch. Sometimes you have to go through some really rotten times to actually come out the other side and be like, okay, this is now the life I want to live. And so I'm excited to hear other people's stories, learning from other people, and just trying to hit like a real range of people. I think this topic is open to every single person.
And that's what I enjoy. That's what we enjoy, is chatting. Fitness maybe is going to come up more, but I think really this podcast is just going to be the things that we enjoy, and the guests and what they enjoy, what comes up. It's going to be health, fitness, family, lifestyle, Dubai, football. I'll talk about Man United at the moment.
Yeah,
didn't
absolutely.
Get our 5 wins on the bounce, by the way. The guy didn't get the trim.
It's great, mate. It's going to be a while.
Did you see the West Ham fans got a trim?
Yeah, did they put it all over their TikTok or something like that? Loads of their players were getting haircuts, weren't they?
Yeah, fair play.
Horrendous.
Do you think the guy is buzzing that he hasn't got to get his hair cut, or do you reckon he's gutted?
I mean,
it's going to be a long time before he gets
I've heard
cut.
that like he's had some wild opportunities from it. And do you know what though? Like that again, sort of going back from it. Like he's just.
Are we getting him on the pod?
Yeah, I think we have to, don't we? If he's listening, I think, mate. In all seriousness, like he's gone for this wild challenge. He might have said it to his friends or his family or whatever. He might have just thought he's doing it on his own, but he's done something that he just took a chance with, and now I think I saw him on an advert with PK.
Okay,
the other day.
yeah.
And you think like this is just some guy who's just taken a chance and thought I'd do something.
What we should do? Maybe we should reach out to him and we'll offer him a free body transformation. Imagine the before and after with the wig.
I like it.
90 days. How long can the hair grow? But imagine him shredded.
I like it. With the hair or without the hair? We'll have both, won't he?
We'll have both. I mean, if he's jacked and bold, he'll look pretty good.
It looked tough already, right?
That's the thing that I'm telling myself for the
Absolutely.
future. Get jacked and bold, it's not that bad. But yeah, I don't know. I think his hair's going all the way down to his ass.
Yeah, I think as well.
I really do.
Yeah, I think you've missed the biggest opportunity that you could ask for. I mean, West Ham are doing a little bit better now, right? But you've beat who you beat on the way. You beat Arsenal and City on the way, and you've fallen at the final hurdle. But how about you anyway? Before we wrap up, what sort of people are you looking to get on, and what do you see this becoming?
I think just people sharing their story of like their life and maybe their passion growing up, and maybe some of the lessons from different industries. For me, even within coaching, I've always enjoyed working with people from different walks of life. Like when I look at some of my clients, I've got a dance teacher, I've got a pianist, I've got someone who's in the corporate world, and there's such like a diverse people. I'd love to get all of them kind of people on and just chat to them. And like you said, find out what the common ground and the common themes of success and living a good life is, really. So yeah, I'd say that.
Love it. I'm excited.
Very excited. So
Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we'll be doing our podcast, just me and you having a general chat. Hopefully, if anyone wants to come and join us in Dubai, we can extend some tables on here, I'm sure, and get some conversations going. So yeah, mate, welcome to The Good Life.
Welcome to The Good Life.
First session done.
Let's go.
Let's get it.